And welcome back to VADA Live. I'm your host, Dan Carrigan. This segment is part of a special series on artificial intelligence in the dealership space, where it's showing up, how it's being used, and what dealers need to know. So today, we're zeroing in on AI in fixed operations, where efficiency, compliance, and profitability really all intersect. And our guest today is Jim Roche, who is CEO of WarrCloud. It's a company focused on automating one of the most complex, arguably, areas of the dealership operations space, and that's warranty claims processing. It's really a timely conversation here in Virginia, of course, because new warranty and recall protections for Virginia dealers are now into effect. The perfect moment to ask, how can automation and AI help ensure accuracy, speed, and profitability while freeing up staff to focus on the customer? Jim, welcome to VADA Live. How are you?
Excellent, Dan. Nice to meet you, and a pleasure to be here with your audience.
Starting with the big picture as the first question, Jim, as we dive in, what are the most common misconceptions dealers still have about AI? What are you hearing?
Yeah, great question. I mean, we're sort of in early days. I think probably the most common misconception is the term itself. We tend to throw around the term AI a lot, and AI is actually an umbrella term that describes a lot of different technologies. And I think one of the things that dealers need to do is become a little bit more familiar with what AI really means. I mean, as you just look at, you have generative AI. Some people refer to it as GPT. You have machine learning. You have deep learning, and many other things. And they need to be a little bit more familiar, at least conversationally, with what these terms mean as we move further and further into AI.
And WarrCloud may be the first time some dealers are hearing about you and your company. As a basic question, really foray into that, what made you want to concentrate on the AI space? Bit of an entrepreneurial question there, but what was it, and how did WarrCloud really come to be to help dealers and provide the service?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I love entrepreneurial questions. The genesis of WarrCloud came through my experience. I've been working with dealers for over 30 years. I believe I've visited probably over those years 2,000 car dealerships. And I always noticed that if I opened enough doors, I eventually found a little office with stacks of paper up to the ceiling. That was a warranty administrator's office. And I came to find that warranty claims processing has essentially been done the same way for 80 years. Just manual processing, people looking up codes, people doing data entry, very manually intensive and therefore very expensive. But it was a great dealer friend who really provided the epiphany because I was describing the stacks of paper, and he said, that's not a stack of paper, that's a stack of uncashed checks. And that was the aha moment. And so we set out to automate, eventually settling on using AI, this incredibly important revenue stream in the dealer's fixed operations.
So AI and enhancing that space, and I know you mentioned in the past, is that enhancement, not replacing employees. With that question in mind, and knowing that this can certainly support efficiencies in other areas, what does that actually look like in the service department? Can you give us a window into what that could be?
Sure. So we use AI to do what's called smart sourcing. In other words, the dealer is not using our tools with their existing people. We take over the warranty claims processing using AI and our people to completely take that function over from the dealer. But I read a recent study that said that the typical fixed operations has 3 open job recs. In other words, they can't find enough people. So what we recommend to the dealer is that we come in, we take over the warranty claims processing, and the dealer reallocates all of that effort toward improving the guest experience. Refocus your team from back office functions onto the guest experience. And what that typically happens is that if you get a better guest experience, then customer satisfaction is improved. If customer satisfaction goes up, then your loyalty is improved. And really, that's what dealers want. They want more loyal customers in service and in sales. So that's part of what we're trying to drive.
Is there anything you're telling dealers who may be reticent to even look into or adopt the tech?
Oh, I think that dealers like everything else, you represent a spectrum. You have dealers who are very progressive and forward-leading, think early adopters. And you have dealers who, are a little anti-tech, or they don't want to lean too far into it. So you see a full spectrum. But at the end of the day, some things are absolute, and you can just sort of separate the technology from them. One, I think everybody knows that typically fixed operations drives more than 50% of total dealership gross. Secondly, there are two primary revenue streams in fixed operations. You have customer pay and you have warranty. And customer pay growth has been decelerating over the last several years. Last year it grew about 2%, whereas warranty has been on a growth tear. Last year warranty grew 19%. So if you're looking at, emerging revenue streams, warranty is clearly growing much faster. And we all know that we're in the part of the cycle where dealers are challenged when it comes to making money in vehicle sales. So dealers are looking more and more to how to become more efficient in fixed operations. And technology, utilizing AI, is the most easy driver. So think less about new technology and more how you drive efficiency to continue driving greater profitability.
And as dealers perhaps look into that from just your expertise being in the space, what recommendations do you have to them to really help identify what perhaps is a difference between something that can help them and real claims of innovation or just basic automation? How would a dealer perhaps process through that as they're learning and really trying to figure out the world of AI?
Sure. There are several fundamental differences between AI and basic automation. AI is able to learn and adapt. They look at the data that they have, and over time, they're able to evolve. Whereas basic automation follows predefined rules with no learning opportunity. AI can handle complex tasks, whereas basic automation is more suited for routine or simple tasks, and again, things that don't change. AI supports and enables decision makings based on patterns and probabilities, where basic automation, again, is using a predefined set of instructions. So in other words, AI is able to learn and grow in your situation, whereas basic automation doesn't. I think those are kind of the three main drivers of what you can see that sets the two apart.
And what makes the warranty claims just especially challenging to modernize?
Well, my hair used to be your colors, Dan, before I got into it. Warranty has grown exponentially more complex over the last couple of years. So there are many things that make automating warranty claims challenging. The first is that just the sheer complexity. There are millions of combinations of year, make, model, engine type, accessories, trims, and the like. So all of those variations just make being able to use technology to pick the right operations and deliver those to the manufacturer so the dealer gets repaid a significant challenge. Maybe the second is the number of integrations, because you want to move the claim digitally, right? You want to do all these things in an automated fashion. Being able to integrate into the dealer system, navigate to get the right information, then transport that to WarrCloud, and then eventually transport that claim from WarrCloud to the OEM portal requires a series of successful integrations on the way, while we are all more and more cognizant of security needs. So doing that is also part of the secret sauce, if you will. And finally, RO data, repair order data, is unstructured. You have tens of thousands of technicians every day typing what they do to the car, what's called the technician story, into the dealership management system. And all of these technicians have varying degrees of proficiency when it comes to communicating. Again, the data is unstructured. So being able to understand all of those varying methods of communication is a significant challenge. And all of those things and many other things combined are kind of part of the challenge that we faced. What underscores that is from the initial idea of WarrCloud to entering the marketplace in 2021 was a 7-year journey to V1. That wasn't the original plan, but that's how it worked out. So that's, I think, really underscores sort of the degree of complexity that we've managed to work through.
What was that complexity? Was it the data gathering side? Was it the build? What was that really?
Yeah, it was. I mean, when we started off, we did not envision WarrCloud to be an outsource. We thought it would be a tool that the dealer would use. This is just one example of many examples. But as we worked through it, what we realized is that we can't really deliver the value to the dealer if we're not helping the dealer reduce their costs of claims processing. So taking the human beings who do it out of the loop was one of many ways that we discovered we could deliver more value. Also, it's a back office function, as I mentioned. It's people looking up codes. It's people doing data entry. Taking those back office functions away from human beings at the dealership and giving them their time back to focus on the guest experience really helps the dealer deliver more value. Many of those things that don't directly touch the customer that you can take away from the dealer, the better you enable them to drive a more satisfying experience.
And within adoption and really just trying, even if there's somebody in a dealership who may be versed in AI or this is new, it's just varying degrees of understanding and really those in evolving to adopting the new tech. What are those internal hurdles and what should they expect to see in helping navigate that and knowing that, hey, here's the audience, here's what we're trying to do. Now I'm trying to get this to really happen in my dealership. What should dealers even consider when they're trying to think and process through these things internally?
Sure. It's not so much a technology question as it is using the old, maybe worn out phrase, a paradigm shift. You're moving away from using an in-house person or persons who have been doing the same thing for decades. It's been done the same way. You can't think of, let's use WarrCloud specifically. You can't think of it as, well, I used to have a person and now I have technology, because it's much broader than that. Some of the things that WarrCloud does, of course, we replace the warranty administrator, but we also automate warranty schedule management. We streamline supplemental documentation management. We integrate your OEM scorecard metrics and many other things. We typically give back to the dealership 50 to 100 hours per week in time that was that was tied up in chasing claims, chasing signatures, looking up OEM metrics, and all these other things are now being given back to the dealer. So you really have to reconceptualize how you're going to use that time and how you're going to streamline your processes so that WarrCloud is able to do its job as efficiently as possible, but also to utilize those tools to deliver a better result ultimately for the vehicle owner.
Future state, more of a general or specialized question with AI. Do you think it'll be a climate where dealers are having software or something for an individual area like fixed ops or maybe another for sales? Or how do you think that may play out moving forward, given that there are just options and players entering the space? And it's amazing to have specialized. How do you think that would work? And what do you think that would look like in the future?
Yeah, I don't think, to stay specific to fixed ops, Dan, I don't think there's an area that will be untouched by AI. I mean, just off the top of my head, most areas in service, your shop scheduling, your BDC, plus other customer communications, your parts inventory, your lane management, in addition to modernizing warranty claims processing. I think all of these areas not only will be touched, but they're low-hanging fruit when it comes to AI. Taking repetitive tasks, things that human beings don't necessarily do well, and handing it over to intelligent technology frees the human beings up to do things that we're good at. So I think there's a very few areas in service that will be untouched over time and relatively quickly, next 5 years.
And as dealers, again, look into this, what's the one thing you think they should have in the back of their mind as they're considering tech?
I think let's say AI, really, because that's the area where we need to be focused because of all of its advantages. I think dealers need to understand that this is already proven technology, in many walks of life, but also in automotive. The business benefits are overwhelmingly compelling. Many dealers are already implementing AI. I mean, we started with, Chat GPT type things, but now we're seeing more sophisticated AI. The dealer needs to get moving, or they'll be at a competitive disadvantage at a time when you really can't afford to be at a competitive disadvantage.
Any proof points that you can share? We love examples of success stories at VADA Live. Any clients or anybody that really stands out to you that has had success already?
Oh, my gosh. Well, we're coming up on 900 dealers. So we have, and that's been in 4 short years. So obviously we have many dealers who are very happy with us. But generally speaking, for dealers who are on WarrCloud, they will see an increase in warranty revenue in year 1 of about 15.1%, which is a significant jump. But also, in conjunction with that, they'll see the cost of their warranty claims processing drop significantly because we're using machines instead of people. You'll see cash flow improved, typically 24-hour turnaround time, and you'll see your OEM warranty dashboard metrics all improve, things like time to submit and accuracy. And when you drive those up, the chance of a warranty audit typically go down. So it really is sort of your typical technology purchase, faster, better, cheaper.
Well, Jim, appreciate you sharing your insights. You were hearing from Jim Roche, who is CEO of WarrCloud. Just what dealers should keep in mind navigating change and AI. Well, that wraps up another edition of our special series on artificial intelligence at VADA Live. And I'm Dan Carrigan. We hope to see you next time.